Pep Guardiola ruined football, or did he? Although Pep Guardiola is the best manager in history, has he damaged the game of football? Despite having coached some of the best teams and players in history, Guardiola is responsible for two of the biggest problems facing the sport now. First and foremost, Guardiola's success has hurt football. Despite being made fun of for his alleged failure in Europe, Pep's dominance in home leagues has contributed to the institutionalized hierarchies that exist in 3 of the continent's top 5 leagues. Additionally, Pep's dominance on the continent has maintained the superiority of some clubs in European football. These teams are Manchester City in England, Barcelona in Spain, and Bayern Munich in Germany. 3 of Europe's top leagues are now predictable and dull as a result of him. When it comes to title chases, European football is less entertaining than ever because of PSG's hegemony in Ligue 1. Even while Pep's flair helps him succeed, it doesn't translate into a compelling and enjoyable result. Second, Pep's brand of football, which is the most tactically sophisticated in the world and is spreading throughout Europe, has weakened players' ability to express themselves uniquely in recent years and has grown tediously predictable. The elimination of personality in football players turns them from unique athletes capable of making their judgments into cogs in a machine, depriving football spectators of a major source of enjoyment and excitement from the game. Even while Pep's flair helps him succeed, it doesn't translate into a compelling and enjoyable result. Football, on the other hand, is a game meant to be won. It's a competition, not the WWE or some such prearranged entertainment. Surely, like in other endeavors, we ought to be continuously working to advance the game tactically to build even more formidable and elite teams as Pep has done throughout his career. More than any other manager, Pep has done this, but the result could be detrimental to football. Dominance of the league. Over his career, Pep Guardiola has won an incredible amount of awards. 11 domestic league titles, 6 major domestic cup wins, and 7 European trophies have been won by his teams together. The Premier League, the Bundesliga, and Liga Santander have all suffered as a result of this dominance. Pep's success has led to a situation where title races are monotonous and predictable, which is bad for fan involvement and enjoyment. The most notable instance of this is when Pep managed Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga for the seasons of 2013-14, 2014-15, and 2015-16. Bayern had won the Bundesliga before, but not to the degree that Pep had both demanded and accomplished. With 7 games remaining in his rookie campaign, he guided them to a record-breaking 23rd Bundesliga title at a record speed. This exceeded the previous record that Bayern had established the year prior. In addition, the Bavarian team recorded the longest winning streak in league history and helped the team win 53 games in a row without losing. Out of 102 Bundesliga games, Guardiola has only 9 losses. As demonstrated by Manchester United and Paris Saint-Germain, financial investment does not ensure success. The hegemony of Manchester City requires no introduction. English football supporters have personally witnessed the lifeless grind of a season that will very certainly culminate in the citizens taking the league title. Although many supporters may attempt to claim that Guardiola's success in England can only be attributed to his wealth, this is untrue. Financial investment does not ensure success, as Paris Saint-Germain and Manchester United have demonstrated. What separates these 3 clubs from one another? Guardiola. Although more acceptable given several circumstances, Guardiola's initial managerial move to Barcelona not only cemented Real Madrid and Barcelona's domination over the continent, but also resulted in 2 UEFA Champions League titles in as many years. His construction of 2 of the greatest football teams ever does, however, much offset this decrease in title race entertainment. There are other issues at play here besides Pep's success and capacity to assemble clubs that rule their home leagues. It is pointless and nonsensical to criticize someone for their success, when the real targets should be the surrounding clubs and their inability to compete, as well as the domestic league systems that enable these dominance cycles to persist. Guardiola cannot be held accountable for purposefully destroying football, but his time at Barcelona and Bayern Munich solidified a small number of clubs' supremacy over numerous others, making the game less exciting for the general public. In particular, English supporters are tired of the Premier League title battle turning into a farmers' league with an obvious winner. Due to his sheer brilliance, Pep has damaged a great deal of European football. The elimination of the player's uniqueness. Due to Pep's strict positional play system, exceptionally gifted players have been forced to sacrifice their unique individuality and expression. Even so, Pep's methodical erasure of players' unique expression, which lessens the game's visual spectacle, is his greatest defense against football's entertainment value. Players with exceptional potential have been forced to give up their unique inventiveness and expression to preserve specific places and increase the team's ball retention due to Pep's strict positional play style. The most well-known instance of this is with Thierry Henry. Henry's tenure at Arsenal and Barcelona differ significantly from one another. Wenger gave Henry a free role, allowing the best player in the Premier League to play on the final line of defense, go wide, or even lower to receive the ball at the halfway line. Henry was able to develop into a true entertainer and joy to watch, as well as Arsenal's talisman and the best player in the world for several seasons because of this tactical freedom. Henry was instructed to retain position out on the left flank for Barcelona under Guardiola to stretch the defense of the opposition and open up space in the half spaces and center sections of the field for attacking overloads. Henry, who has talked extensively about his difficulties adjusting, was initially perplexed and annoyed by this approach. He even recalls a time when Guardiola substituted him after he scored a goal because he had been outside his designated area of the play. Surely it is detrimental to the football team's outcomes to force a player of Henry's caliber to adhere to such a strict system. Recent years have seen Jack Grealish go through a similar journey to Henry. Grealish has been far less daring in his dribbling since joining City for £100 million. He has prioritized keeping possession of the ball above taking risks, frequently making easy passes to his fullback or inside to a midfield player. The move by Grealish, which appears to be a blatant waste of money and a waste of a player's most entertaining and skillful attribute, inflating the overall European market, has infuriated Premier League supporters and sparked mockery. There's an intriguing parallel between Guardiola and the current manager of Brazil, Fernando Diniz. When asked if there were any parallels between Guardiola's and his style of play, Diniz replied, "People associate my style with Guardiola's because we both like having possession. However, it is the end of it. He enjoys ownership in a way that is quite different from mine. I have an anti-positional style, but he is positional. It's a more open-ended game where players are free to move around the field. There are times when players move in unison in the same areas of the field, and sometimes they even change positions there. These are the main distinctions. The players under Guardiola are imprisoned. Our athletes have greater freedom." This poses some thought-provoking queries regarding the best technique to play football. Guardiola has surrendered the entertaining and beautiful game he once held so dear at Barcelona, even though he has discovered the best method to win titles, particularly at Bayern Munich and Manchester City: a defensive Pep. Teams led by Guardiola have produced some of the best football players the game has ever seen. Guardiola has built teams that play some of the best football the game has ever seen, despite his rigid adherence to positional play and the monotony of England's current champions. The 2011 UEFA Champions League final, which saw Barcelona defeat Sir Alex Ferguson's Manchester United 3-1 at Wembley, serves as the best example of this. This was one of the best football team performances ever, if not the best. With 63% of the ball and 12 shots on goal compared to United's 1, Guardiola's team was superior to United in every way. Beyond the numbers, though, was where the real success lay. Through quick passes and player exchanges, Barcelona rendered United and their defense useless, taking home the biggest club football trophy ever while producing some of the most technically brilliant and artistic football ever seen. During Pep's whole leadership, Barcelona reinvented contemporary football and produced some of the most exciting football ever seen. Lionel Messi is another huge exception to Guardiola's possession-based philosophy and rigid stance. Guardiola has expressed his adoration for Messi loudly and publicly, acknowledging that the Argentine is just better than him and his method. Above all, we have to admire Guardiola. He is the greatest manager of all time due to the remarkable success and longevity of his career. Though his football can be dull and repetitive at times, his attention to detail and ability to constantly modify the game from a tactical standpoint is mind-boggling. The average football fan's experience has been negatively impacted by Guardiola's unquestionable contribution to the aridity and poor regularity of continental football. Despite this, his breakthroughs in football, albeit once magical, are a source of beauty and amusement in and of itself, taking the modern game to heights never before achieved. Please share your thoughts in the remarks section. If you found it enjoyable, give the video a thumbs up. Additionally, activate the channel by subscribing and the bell notifications to ensure that you never miss out on new content.